Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and we are here for Deep Astrology, the show everybody loves to talk about, especially in the astrology world, because what do we like to do here? We like to take it to a deeper level. And especially, you want to talk about deep? This week is deep. There's a lot going on. This lunar eclipse and all the other alignments that are happening during this lunar eclipse full moon that's happening on Friday is like nothing I've ever seen. And I mean, you know, as an astrologer, I mean, I look at thousands of people's charts, and of course I've been doing, you know, daily video astrology horoscopes every day for the last 6 years, never missed a day. So it's like, you know, when you look at thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of charts over your life, you know, you could see some crazy configurations, but, you know, the stuff that's forming up this week is definitely, I would say, on the top tier of like the top 3 charts I've seen in my life. So what does that all mean? Well, number one, I mean, don't forget, it's eclipse time. So that means it's fate train time. Whip, whip. There's a lot of fated stuff going on, but that at the same time, there's a lot of karmic clearing going on. This brings up massive past life situations at the highest degree. So just know that you're going through a lot of things that your past lives definitely 100% are bubbling up to this surface. So don't freak out too much. You know, when a lot of these situations that are going to envelop right now in your life, emotionally, in your physical world, that have to deal with kind of this feeling of crossing a new bridge in a place that your soul probably has never ever gone through before. And what I mean by that is, maybe, you know, in a past life, this is like as far as you got, right? So there's always these moments kind of where you're like, can I go to this next round? And that's what this is. If we look at this lunar eclipse, and we look at the other transits this week, which of course I'm going to cover, and before we go deep and we actually look at the charts, let's talk about some of the stuff that is the buildup for this week, which makes this week so incredibly deep and so incredibly, like, overwhelming in kind of a way. So the first one that we want to talk about is the sun now is in Leo. It's natural home, it's dignified here, it's happy, but man, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on when the king has returned to the kingdom, right? It's like, whoa! Number one, it's Mars retrograde in Aquarius where the south node is. So think about, we're going to look at this from the sun's point of view because the sun is finally home. The illuminary. It's a luminary, right? So it's strong. It's the strongest thing in astrology is when the sun is in Leo. So the king has returned home and looking around the kingdom, oh my gosh, Aquarius, what is the opposite of the kingdom, which is outside the castle walls? It's mayhem out there. Mars retrograde, inner battles going on, anger stuff, past life situations, the crowd's going crazy, revolting riots. So energetically, the king is like, holy cow, I have to oppose this stuff, right? Because the sun's coming into an opposition with Mars retrograde this week. Then, when the king looks to the left, oh my gosh, Uranus is in Taurus and I have to square that? Massive upgrading in our life in ways that we are not ready for. You know, Uranus is the father of the skies, right? So it's about getting closer to that understanding of God and understanding of a higher dimension, a higher plane. So in order to deal with all these crazy past life, revolting, and more importantly, just even with a Mars retrograde, dealing with this kind of, oh man, am I going to be able to push through all my old patterns and push through and fight against them internally? You've got Uranus and Taurus saying, oh, there is a better life out there and it's going to come in a crazy radical way and we're going to do crazy radical shifts on you, unpredictability, and more importantly, all the things that you valued at once might not be as valuable as they once were. So now it's time to find new valuable things in your life. It's time to reinvent your self-worth. This is a deep, deep self-worth conscious raising. Raising how to be happier, by raising your vibration. That's going to require your own self. When you're dealing with fixed signs, okay, Mars retrograde in South Node in Aquarius, Sun now in Leo, Uranus in Taurus, this is fixed energy. This is all on you. And when the Sun's at home in Leo, it's on you, you know, it's on your life, it's on your heart, it's on who you are, you know. So there's a lot of things that kind of bring up to the surface of this, like, this is all on what's going on with your own life, and that you have to kind of take the bull by the horns, per se. And it kind of can feel a little bit alone because the South Node's in Aquarius. So the help, or, you know, hoping that some outside source is going to change things for you, no, it's all on you. And then, you know, when the king looks over to the right, oh, Jupiter's in Scorpio. Oh, which is direct, by the way, which is a positive thing, but it's in Scorpio. There is a lot of deep, past, scary stuff that we are clearing in our lives. And I've gone into this story for the last 6 years about the transformation that we've gone through from October of 2012 to now, still continuing, of all this Scorpio fear, deep emotions, true authentic self coming up, repressing that self, bringing it back up. I mean, it has been a gnarly place. To find your truth, you kind of have to go in a weird cycle of suppressing it or putting it away or learning how to control it, or, you know, fighting it, or do I bring it up? Do I launch it? Is that the right road in my life? Is this who I really am? Is that what I really want? Am I being fed emotionally? Am I starving emotionally for what I want? I mean, when you look out the kingdom right now, it is like mayhem a little bit because there is a lot of confusion. Mercury is stopped and it goes retrograde on Thursday in Leo. So now, you know, as the king goes to his like advisor, the one that figures it out, or I forgot in Game of Thrones, like, what's his name? Finger or thumb? I forgot his name. But you know, when the king turns over to the advisor, it's like, I don't know, I can't figure this one out. Mercury's going retrograde, right? So the messenger doesn't even know. So, oh man. We can definitely put ourselves right now in positions where we feel like, am I going to get through all this stuff? The one beautiful thing that I want to point out about all these things going on, and there's a lot more to talk about, like Venus is opposing Neptune too, and Venus is in its fall position of Virgo and it's opposing Neptune. It's like we have all these dreams, but there's this reality check going on of like the work that needs to be done. So it seems like it's easy. Neptune and Pisces is like, oh, I see the vision. I know what needs to be done. I got it. But Venus and Virgo kind of shows up to the desk and goes, all right, are you ready to sit there and you ready to type all those words? Okay, you're ready to go in the back and tear down that wall and get into those rafters and clear all that dust out. And oh yeah, there's some dark spiders and stuff over there. You ready to clean all that out? It's like, oh man, I forgot about that stuff. I thought it was just, you know, putting up a wall or something. No, it's not that simple. There's definitely a lot in the universe right now that's, I don't want to say it's overwhelming, because sure it might be, but it's crystallizing us into finding our power internally and learning to not be afraid of it, but to use it, and to purge past experiences from past lives that have actually been reoccurring in this life now. Because if you actually take past lives actually kind of bring us to where we're at now. And so the patterns that we're going through in our life are, especially with Mars retrograde in Aquarius, definitely all about like wanting to kind of bug out of reality. But now that the sun's in Leo, there is no really comfortable place, right? It's like the only true place is love, the only true place is happiness, the only true place is finding courage. And this is a very important thing because during this week, right before this eclipse, the sun trines Chiron, but it squares Uranus. So sure, there's a lot of weird circumstances on the line. But I want to say this, that the sun in Leo is way stronger than Uranus and Taurus. Because you got to remember that Uranus and Taurus is at fall position. So it's not the strongest Uranus aspect of our lives, or, you know, it actually is the weakest. And when you have the sun, which is strongest in Leo, you got to look at how astrology works. Like, there are battles in the sky, in the heavens, and it's kind of like playing Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. Like, yeah, you know, definitely playing one player against another might be a little unfair. Like if you play Sub-Zero against, I don't know, Kane, you know, Kane has to kind of jump to get to you, but Sub-Zero can just from far away just like, pshoo, 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 pshoo. It's like, what? It's like, dude, or Liu Kang. Like, Liu Kang is like the guy who always wins. If you want to win the game, you play Liu Kang. The sun is like Liu Kang, and Uranus is kind of like that new player that nobody kind of plays ever, you know? So, you know, at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not extremely afraid of this Uranus transit, just for the fact that Uranus and Taurus takes a lot, you know, it's a lot more physical, it's a lot more kind of a slower shock than a extreme radical shock and awe at the last moment. Like, you feel the buildup, and you have options in your life to know when you're losing stability. So in your life, when you feel like you're starting to lose stability, that's already the shock. But you have enough time with Taurus to kind of go, okay, this isn't going right. I can adjust now or wait for the shock to come extreme, right? So it's kind of like paying attention to little things more in our life, being aware radically in how to rise our vibration more. And also, you know, a sun square Uranus is a fear of the unpredictability. So it's about really trying to embrace that unpredictability more and realize that it's an elevator to a higher place in our life. But it's definitely not the strongest position. The only reason why it's stronger a little bit is because, of course, the South Node is in Aquarius. And Mars is retrograding in Aquarius, squaring Uranus. So when you get Mars retrograde square Uranus, now that pumps up the volume a little bit more and gives Uranus a little bit more energy. So yes, it's definitely a complicated situation in life, but these are the moments that are major breakthroughs in our life. And for me, I'm looking at this because these are all happening on the nodes, and we're doing it with an eclipse. And scientifically, I mean, from what I've been reading, this is like the longest eclipse, like actual from the beginning point of the start of the eclipse to the end of the eclipse that we've seen ever, I think, or something like that. I'll be honest, I just saw it really quickly. But that kind of makes sense to me. Like, okay, yeah, this is a crazy lineup for this eclipse, and that kind of makes sense that scientifically that the lunar eclipse is going to be the longest, as it's really, I think, purging the world that you thought that you were going to live. And I think that this is realizing the illumination of who you really are and what you really want and how you want it and what you deserve and what you're hungry for, and to not be afraid to go for it. A lot of this is going to be the fear of staying in reality and going for it, because Mars and Aquarius would rather bug out into another universe. Be like, I'm done with this Earth. I'm done with this solar system. I'm done with this universe. Let me go into the multiverse. Do you guys even know what the multiverse is, right? After you get out of our Milky Way galaxy, then you look at the billions of galaxies, and then if you look at all the billions of galaxies, it forms a universe. The universe is within a whole nother realm of multiverses, which are like kind of planets full of all these galaxies, and it's infinity of how many. So Mars and Aquarius would rather be like, let me go jump around and see what other universe out there is better. I'd rather not deal with ascension. I'd rather not deal with being rising higher. I'd rather go the weirdest angles in my life to try and avoid the truth to be better in my life. I'd rather avoid it. I'd rather not have to deal with it. It's either too hard, or it's too scary, or it's a battle that I am too afraid to confront, right? The sun is going to oppose Mars retrograde in the lunar eclipse. It's the fear of confronting. You can't bug out of reality. You can't bug out. Sorry. And with Neptune at its home position, right? Of course. And especially as it's sessi-squared the sun, as it's actually getting ready to semi-square Mars retrograde. Like, you can't just bug out into, you know, using drugs or alcohol, or even like, you know, just thinking that only meditation or some spiritual practice is going to get you out of this. Like, there is still the confrontation of reality, that you have to be in it, you have to be illuminated, and you have to be present for this movie that's going on. And you know, bugging out of the universe is definitely something that sounds a lot easier, but at the end of the day, when you go out to the other universes, there's nothing like Earth. There's nothing like this solar system. Like, they just keep searching. You know what they keep finding? Barren lands, barren energy, some weird organisms living under another organism. what's really out there, you know? Of course, we're all excited for that search for what is out there more, but unfortunately, you know, with the South Node in Aquarius, this is not the time. Sure, the time is coming very soon in 2020 with Jupiter and Saturn, or Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius, with Pluto in 2023 finally entering Aquarius, and then officially in 2024, with lots of the Aquarian age that is coming upon us, but it's not at this moment. So I think that there's a lot of people who are, you know, over jumping the future now, when they don't realize at this moment, in order for that future to even present itself, or whether you believe in, you know, disclosure, or you believe that aliens will show up, or you believe that we will find the origins of the universe and heaven and all this kind of thing, like, we're not at that point yet. I hate to be the guy who's just going to just show it up and just be like, yo, we're not there yet. We've got a lot of clearing to do in this area. And Mars right now is trying to clear a lot of this. And this is where the South Node is. We got to deal with past life where we bugged out, where we split, where we were afraid. That's what Mars retrograde on the South Node lunar eclipse is to me, highlighting where we were emotionally bugging out because we're afraid of the truth, we're afraid to face what's in front of us and what actually is the life in which we want. We're like afraid to actually do it for some reason. It's like easier to avoid. Mars in Aquarius is like, oh, I don't want to, you know, a good example is when I just was on tour, I was towing my 43-foot trailer, my truck, and it's over 26,000 pounds. And you know what? Technically, I need a commercial license, and I got to go through weigh stations in some states. And of course, me, I'm like, I'm not going through that weigh station. Maybe I'll go around it. Mars in retrograde in Aquarius with the South Node is like, you know what? There's a situation in front of me I got to deal with. I don't want to deal with it. Let me find another way around it. So everywhere in your life right now, you're trying to find another way around the situation instead of just cutting to the chase of, I'm not happy. It's not the best for me in my life. I'm not raising my vibration. I'm not reaching more. I'm not creating the abundance I want in my life. I'm not getting what I deserve. Why am I trying to bug around that situation instead of confronting it, ending it, so you can move forward into happiness in life? So really, this craziness and this Mercury retrograde is really about, are you going to really review what you really love deep in your heart? Are you really going to finally step forward and own that heart and own that truth and own who you are and stop trying to find some crazy weird road to get it the way that you want it to be? Which actually is the funniest part is, sure, you want your life the way that you want it to be, but you're trying to go the weirdest ways around to get it there when the universe is saying, sorry, that's not the road that I'm going to take you. So the craziness comes when you go against yourself and your ego starts to lead the way, saying, I know a better route than God in the universe to get there. I'm going to avoid the confrontation. I'm going to try and make this work even though I fucking know it don't work. I'm going to try and fix what's unfixable. Sorry, you know. This is where you have to have the courage to be like, not fixable. Sorry, and then walk back into your kingdom and have fun, you know, and disconnect emotionally. It's very difficult, though. It's very difficult. Not one person on the planet is better at another person than any of this. The other part about this is people. This is a lunar eclipse, Mars retrograde, South Node in Aquarius. That is massive amounts of people that you are fingering through in your life. It's kind of going to be overwhelming this weekend. Like, man, there's all these crazy worlds that I'm playing with in my life, right? That we all start to kind of go, whoa. And the sun in Leo starts to go, oh yeah, let's see. And with Mercury retrograde now, that's coming, it's going to review if the kingdom, your heart, which is the kingdom, if it likes those people, if it likes those worlds, if that's what it wants to associate itself with. Is this the positive and the negatives of this is either A, you choose to stay in the world you know is good for your heart, or B, you avoid it and you try and you end up in the weirdest place and you're all alone. And that's the scariest part about this eclipse, is not the craziness, is not the unknown. It is realizing that you took the weird route and you ended up alone, by yourself, unhappy, because you were just afraid to just confront Mars, this truth that something's not working for you, that's not raising you to a higher place in your life. Whether that's your relationship, in your health life, a career situation, in your mind and how your mind works, a money situation. These are where these things are applying. Now, the good news out of all this is Venus, after it opposes Neptune earlier this week, which we're actually going through right now as I'm recording this, it trines Pluto. And so I think what it's trying to say is, you know what, there is a road. And I think with Saturn, because Saturn's involved in all this too, remember. Saturn is making an odd aspect to this eclipse. And it's been finishing its odd aspect to the nodes, which is not done with yet, by the way, because Saturn's going retrograde still, and the nodes are, of course, in always retrograde motion, or at least going the opposite direction. So the nodes are part with Saturn. And so this is a karmic story that we are unveiling about big choices in our life, about our path and what makes us happy. And why do we try to keep fixing situations in our life or trying to divert around the things that are not making us happy? And that's what you have to come to terms with on your own, you know? I know Aquarius is all about interconnection and friendship and trying to work things out and finding solutions to problems, but just a lot like going to Disneyland, the way that I look at planets, especially when they're retrograde or have rare retrogrades or have the South Node there, especially with retrogrades, is that ride's broken. Do you think there's a reason why in 2017, at the end of it, and especially through the last half, and when the new tax plan came out, that if you give money now to a charity, you can't write it off? Like, do you think that's a coincidence with the South Node in Aquarius? Do you think it's a coincidence that every situation in your life where you keep like asking for help, you have to show up and be like, I gotta still deal with this on my own. There's no way that you can just kind of push it to the side and have the whole world figure it out for you. No, you've got to like step up and like in every situation in your life right now and be a Leo and be courageous. The North Node's in Leo. Like, it's forcing you to not be Simba and run from the kingdom and go out there singing your songs with some fat pig and some little weird little whatever he was, and just avoid the kingdom and just like eat a different food that you're normal to and just try and avoid what's really going down in your life. Like, that's just not gonna work. So in many ways, I know I hate to bring the Lion King in this. Some people actually call me the Lion King, which is funny. I'm the Leo King, but I get that one a lot. But this is the story of the Lion King, where it's like, are you, Simba, afraid to step on the rock and face the confrontation with a situation you know is not good for the kingdom? And all you have to do is face it, and all you got to do is show up, and all you got to do is show your, you know, I hate to even bring the movie up, remember who you are, and talk to your father in the stars in a weird way. And with Uranus and Taurus, know that vibration of how powerful you are and what you can manifest and what you were determined to do here on this planet and how you can connect all the dots. Can you do that? Are you willing to just show up and do that? Because if you just stay away from it all or avoid it or go in crazy directions, the kingdom falls down and apart. And when you do finally show up, it's dark, there's not much there left to manifest from, and Simba's got a lot of work to do on the other half of just only battling Scar. You know, now he's got to get the whole kingdom back. But of course, at the end of the movie, he has a baby and everything's fine. Now it's green, everybody's good, and somehow it all works out. That's the whole thing, is the solution to problems right now is through showing it to your heart and living what's deeply in your heart. Instead of trying to fix situations that are outside of your control, that are outside of your presence, that are outside of you and outside, especially outside of your control. Because whenever you're dealing with these situations, guess what? You're dealing with situations that are outside of your control. And you're trying to control it. Like, let's take, for example, a relationship that you know is out of control. It's like, it's out of your control. So it's like, you know, instead of trying to keep fixing an out of control situation, you have to look at your heart and go, is this really what I want? Does it bring my heart all the way? Jupiter in Scorpio, remember, is demanding that the good doors only open if you do the Scorpio truth, right? And if you know any Scorpio out there, it's either all or nothing. It's either the best orgasm or it wasn't an orgasm. There's no such thing, you know. It's either the bomb or not, you know. And I think that in our lives, especially Uranus and Taurus, is kind of like, how are you going to build a life if you're connected, Uranus, to energy that is not high vibrational to what your heart wants? That's the big square. And then Uranus is squaring Mars. That is definitely connected to the identity in the world in which you want to live anyway. This has to deal with like all of us splitting multidimensional worlds. Like, are we living on the same world? Is my kingdom and your kingdom living? Because everybody thinks that we're supposed to all get along, but the only way we all get along is when we're all in our own happiness in our own kingdom, and then we venture out to other kingdoms and find the kingdoms we like, and then eventually, you know, that's how connection works, right? It's like when you're in a good space and you're happy and you got the world that you want and the way that you want it to, bam! Why do you think Aries is the first sign? Why do you think Leo is the sign that comes after when it comes where the sun is at its happiest? Why do you think the sun is exalted in Aries? I'm sorry to say, and this will put the whole spiritual community in their fucking crazy like minds, but yes, sorry, your soul comes first in this life, and then everybody comes after. I know nobody wants to hear that fucking truth, but you put everybody first and you don't put yourself first, and you are just in the back as a trailing person, unhappy, serving a bunch of water to people, and you don't even have a life, and now you're a slave. So you can be a slave, if you want to be a slave during this moment in your life, to situations that you hate. And I don't like to use that word, but Mars retrograde is hate. It hates the situation. So what does it do? Oh, I will find another way around it. Instead of just nailing it in the coffin. Remember, before we found Pluto, Mars was the ruler of the understanding of Pluto and Scorpio, of death. So let's just go back to some old school, medieval, traditional astrology here, folks. This is a lunar eclipse on a death in your life. Why are you afraid to face an ending of a situation in a story and keep finding crazy radical solutions to keep it all together that you know all of them don't equal? No matter how much you do the equation on a fucking whiteboard right now in your life, nope. Are you going to sit there and drink coffee all night for fucking 10 more weeks until you think you get kind of close and it still doesn't work? You become a mad scientist just by trying to find an equation that doesn't work. Sorry to say, I know it's an infinite universe and I know everything's connected, but there are boundaries in the world, which is Jupiter is teaching us. There are boundaries where we don't feel like we're getting what we deserve. There are boundaries that there are some answers or some problems that cannot be fixed. Like, sure, if a TV breaks and it's unfixable, we can turn that TV and recycle it into, you know, another form of energy. But it doesn't mean that that TV is coming back the way that it was, the emotional attachment to it and all those kind of things. It's done. This is where weird problems, weird trying to understand everything, weird unpredictable situations show up, and you got to find that you're not alone, that this is forcing you to just find your courage. You know, even it was, you know, gosh, I know I've watched Lion King like 20 million times, but Pumbaa and Timon, even though they're there supporting you and singing songs, you still got to go be the big Simba and show up on the mountain, and they can't do anything but be the little peanut gallery in the back going, yeah, go get him. That's it. You got to do it yourself. This is all throwing everything yourself. And do you think it's an irony that the sun's trining Chiron in Aries? No. During the square to Uranus, it's like, okay, look at this. This is a time in my life where I have to go, I'm going to heal all of my issues with my core strength and identity, and I'm going to raise my vibration by rising higher, by being better, by figuring better ways to handle situations, by being better about realizing, am I getting what I fully deserve in my life, that I fully can manifest from? Or am I freaked out and I don't want to deal with it and I want crap? Because when you look at these situations and you look at the situations that are coming up, especially consciously, and the things that you're trying to avoid, it's like the universe has this awesome road in front of you that is trying to highlight through lunar eclipse that's going to bring you to a purging from your past lives, bringing you to a level that you've never been before, facing that fear of jumping to that new bridge. But you're there sitting afraid of it and not willing to have better. So I'm just going to tell all of y'all, like, this lunar eclipse is whether you're going to choose shit or fucking gold. I mean, it's literally like, that's what this eclipse is about too. Shit or gold, which one do you want, you know? And on a social stage, on a world platform, this is unveiling that unfortunately alliances, right? This is all Aquarian stuff. Mars retrograde there with South Node, with lunar eclipse. Alliances and people and the way that other people do things, everybody's not going to agree right now. This is a non-agreeable kind of time. But at the same time, when there's deep, intense non-agreeing, there's also ways to find a way to agree or not, or at least understand the boundary lines of like, okay, we might not agree here, so let's just stay in the place where we agree here, but that defines the relationship, that defines if we're all the way alliances or we're co-alliances in this, and that's all. So, you know, on a world stage, when people are freaking out about how the world looks and how countries look right now, guess what? That's what this eclipse is bringing up, is the end of old treaties, old alliances, old world configurations. And the last time this happened, ironically, was with Uranus and Taurus anyway. Go look up Uranus and Taurus, 33 through 39, and all the shit that happened then. Go look at the planets at that time, and go look at all the alliances that shifted. This one's like in a more extreme alliance shift because we've never seen such a crazy amount of Aquarian energy like this, and with all these planets that are coming into Aquarius, and with Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn, guess what? This is extremely fated shit going on in our lives to get us on the road that we know is the right road in our life that we came here to do. But Jupiter and Scorpio is like, are you going to live in your truth or not? Or are you going to continue to eat shit you don't want to eat? Continue to like things that you don't like. Continue to sit in what you don't want. And so the positive of this Mars retrograde is, you know what, instead of bugging out of the situation by avoiding confronting it, it's about bugging out of the situation by confronting it because you're done. We're going to look at the charts now. Drinking Powerade today. This is sponsored by Powerade. All right. Let me send this transmission to the computer. All right. Welcome everybody to Fireside Chat with the Leo King, but we're not going to keep it fireside chatty. We might get a little intense today, so I'm just preparing people. All right, so let's look at the chart. I'm running it for today, July 24th. I ran it at 5:19 today, p.m. Pacific. That's 8:19 Eastern. We have got the sun now at 2 degrees of Leo. Boom! Uh-oh, there's that square to Uranus I've been talking about. So this next 24 hours, Tuesday into Wednesday, is this square while the sun is trining over to Chiron in Aries. Now, this is a big deal, one, because, of course, like I said, Uranus and Taurus is trying to raise the vibration of your value and honestly, your greatness and what you're good at and your confidence. But this is different confidence. This isn't confidence like I'm going to go get a club and beat you up because I feel confident. This is confidence in your own beauty, looks. I'm saying that, especially with the Leo stuff going on. But it also is the confidence in the tools you have in your self-worth, right? So this is some heavy self-worth stuff. Like, instead of wathering away like an overdramatic Leo energy that squares Uranus and Taurus, like, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't have the right hair or the right clothes, or I don't look good, or when I lose 15 more pounds, or when I gain 5 more pounds, or when I fix that tooth, or when I fix my hair, or when I do this, or when I have enough money, or when I have blah, 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 blah. It's like the never-ending excuse cycle of I don't have enough to do what I want to do to be happy. Well, you're just going to be sitting in a drill hammer, concrete, just jackhammer, and jackhammering you back into, whether that's poverty. I'll be honest with you, Uranus and Taurus either takes you to the top of DuckTales with lots of crazy spiritual manifestation, or it drops you down into freaking poverty level. I mean, Uranus and Taurus was the aftermath of the stock market crash, and you know, it was not, the 30s wasn't like a booming time for a lot of people. Uranus and Taurus like kind of teaches you have to find your passion, your talent, your skill, and you gotta do it, you know. And I put out a big warning, and it's actually still available. It's called Rising Through the Darkness, which you can find on my webpage, leoking.com. It's 5 hours about the next 5 years and how slave camp corporations are going to come about. You know, it was even, I said this before Apple had announced that they were going to, you know, start building, you know, companies where you live at the company. That stuff is going to continue bigger than you realize. Right? Factories and stuff where you live there, and ooh, I'm getting everything I need, and da-da-da-da-da, but I'm also trapped in not my best energy, not free of my tools and my power. So this is whether you're driving yourself into like dissatisfaction right now of what you don't have, or the things that you have aren't good enough, or I need more stimulation in these things to make me happier, when at the end of the day it's learning about deep appreciation in Taurus. That's the actual deepest consciousness level, is realizing I appreciate that I just laid a seed in the ground and it just sprouted. Now sure, you'd love it to be a tree, or for the marijuana community, you'd rather have it be a full-blown plant flowering and, you know, budding out and trimming that shit and fucking selling it already. But you need to be happy with what you've got in life sometimes, and watch it grow by sending that happiness in every day. And in all the things that we have at the situations, this is a massive gratitude test. I fell into the trap on my birthday yesterday. Like, I was totally in a non-gratitude place. But sometimes we got to go through that shit in order for us to kind of go, you know, what am I fucking doing? So that's what this Sun Uranus is to me. Of course it brings unpredictable shit. I'm not gonna, you know, like as an astrologer, sure, I've got to be somebody who brings that up. But it doesn't, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say that in everybody's life it's gonna be just like a jackhammer hitting you over the head and killing you or freaking you out or whatever. Yeah, sure, there might be some freak out stuff or some weird stuff. But in Taurus, to me, I feel like it's a little bit more like pronounced. You know, it's a little bit more like, okay, this is how to make my life better now. It's not so much like, this is here to wreck you. You know, like Taurus is trying to make the kingdom better, to make your heart better, to make your happiness better. And so it's going to throw some joker cards at you, some weird situations that go, you know what? Let me accept this, let me like what it is, and let me, because you got to look at wherever Uranus is, this is where God is using Uranus to kind of bring down this lesson of understanding to rise and understand the more godly level. That's what Uranus is. So when Uranus is in Taurus and it's squaring the Sun in Leo, It's about whatever the situation is that's very weird in your life that is showing up. It's about learning to accept it, appreciate it, and make the best of it because it's coming from God and you might not know at the moment, but it's going to make the kingdom and your happiness and your heart way happier. So actually go with it instead of denying it, right? Now, this is something that I really want to bring up right here over this week, okay? So, as we're talking today, look at this. The moon in Capricorn now, conjuncting Saturn. But look at where the moon's going to travel. Before this eclipse, it's going to hump over Saturn. It's going to hump over Pluto. It's going to hump over Mars retrograde for the eclipse. These are the three bad boys in the zodiac. I've tried to say this one for, you guys all know. I always call these guys the three bad boys because in traditional astrology, or you can go back to some of the oldest astrology in the world, you know, these three bad boys are not the most fun planets because they definitely have more a malefic aspect to them, right? Much more of kind of a, oh man, really hard work, or kind of edgy or really intense. Like they're not very soft. So the better way to describe it is they're hard, not soft. You know, they're definitely kind of like, you know, breaking open a candy or breaking open, like when you go to Target or Walmart and you buy something and you don't have a knife and you try to, you know, get with your teeth and you're trying to open it and it's like, ow! That's to me those three planets. Hard, it's not soft. It's not like, you know, oh, what did I get for my gift? Whenever, you know, your grandma gives you that box and it's got the little bow on it and you just take the top off. You already know, oh, this is clothes. It's soft. It's an easy box to open. This stuff's more intense. But until the eclipse, I'm just going to be honest. So Tuesday, which we're at today, Wednesday the 25th, Thursday where Mercury goes retrograde, which we'll show, and then the eclipse, the moon is humping over the hardest planet. So I'm just going to just tell you the truth. Like it's not emotional easy street. The only thing we can control is aligning our feelings with the long-term goals of Capricorn and where the destiny lies, but also the control of our just emotions, period, through the upgrading to a better place that the universe is bringing us into that we can't see yet, because Uranus always brings us to a place that we can't see. And whatever you're predicting is going to happen in your life negatively will not happen, because Uranus only brings down stuff that you didn't think about. Last night, I'm leaving here the office at 2 in the morning, or 1:30, something like that, and I get a news alert that a dam just broke in China and Laos, hundreds of people hurt, a bunch of people dead, and it was a massive tragedy. And I'm like, well, that was definitely the last thing on my mind that I was thinking about during this Uranus square. I wasn't thinking about a dam, and I definitely wasn't thinking about a dam in China. That's Uranus. Then I'm driving home, and you all know my daily driver now is a Corvette, because I just drove the truck across America, and I just have been driving the Vet lately. It's summer. So I'm driving the Vet down the freeway last night, and I get lit up, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm getting pulled over, man. Shit. I'm only doing like 77 or something, but here in California, that's like slow. So I'm like, oh, man. No, it wasn't me. Right to my left side comes this Range Rover doing probably 110 miles an hour, boom, with another cop behind it, and that cop turned his light on to go catch up with them because some guy is on a run and there's a police chase at 2 in the morning. That's another Uranus thing. Like, what the hell? I thought I was getting pulled over. Wait, it's a guy running from the cops? Like, what? Like, that's Uranus. So whatever you think is happening or whatever you're predicting in your life is going to go to shit, I will give it 100% that it's not going to be that. It'll be some way thing from left field that you weren't even thinking about that shows up in your life. So the only thing we can control is our emotions of how we deal with all that stuff. With this moon in Capricorn coming over Saturn, it's not the easiest. It's a tough emotional time to kind of to have control. But I'll be honest with you, when I looked at this at first, I'm like, this just is, like, why, God? Why? Why make the chart like this? Because when you look at all these planets and when you look at the moon crossing over this and coming, I mean, think about it. The moon is literally crossing all this and then coming into a big lunar eclipse over Mars retrograde in the South Node in Aquarius. Like, literally, I was like, really, God? Really? while, remember, the sun is squaring Uranus, and the sun starting his opposition, right, to Mars, and Venus has been opposing Neptune. Like, I was just like, really? Do we get a break ever? And Mars is stationary, getting ready to go retrograde? I'm like, when I looked at this like weeks ago, I was like, gosh, really? But you know what I thought at the end of all this? You know what I conjured up from Spirit at the end of the day is, thank God for the moon to be in Capricorn through this crazy stuff and this ascension stuff, where we can emotionally gather ourselves, where we don't cry over spilled milk, where we learn to be tough and say, I'm going to show up. I know what the long-term goal is. I'm here for that. Where we don't get comfortable, where we don't get, you know, too emotional about it all. We go, you know what? We're going to deal with this. We're going to have courage. We're going to go. We have integrity and responsibilities in life that we have to do spiritually and in our current world. And that's what this is about. So if you're not one that's really good with integrity, or you're really not good with responsibility, or you're really not good with showing up, this might be the worst time ever for you to deal with. But if you're one of those people who does like that stuff, this could be an incredible time to literally leap you into a whole nother dimension, to a higher plane in the universe. And purge, because let's move the chart so we can move along, because I already have been talking way too much today. Let's actually skip, we're going to skip Wednesday. We're going to just go straight to the Mercury Retrograde, and we're going to go into what I want to talk about here. So Thursday is Mercury's officially stationary retrograde, right? Okay. And the big thing that I want to bring up here is when you look at all this stuff, right? There's going to be this kind of like, whoa, this is weird. I'm trying to understand how to be happier and to live this better life, but man, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. The other thing is the sun is following Venus in a semi-square. You see that? That 45-degree angle? So, you know, to be happy is definitely having to do more of the kind of the bitch work, you know, in life. Like show up, be on a schedule, show up, do the things. Like it's definitely not kind of a, you know, like be healthy, do things that are healthy. Like it's definitely not a kind of like, oh, I could just drink my way through this, or I could just party my way through this, you know? It's like, no, this is responsibility and integrity. But when you think about this, the sun quincunxes over to Saturn. And what this is calling right before the eclipse, as the moon is in Capricorn, is we've also got this nice little triangle going on between Saturn and Uranus. Is there is a bridge and a road of your destiny and path to get you to the highest place of greatness ever. But it will require to focus your heart and your courage and your love and your intensity, okay, into integrity, responsibility, into doing the work, into actually creating from a day-to-day rhythm and doing what's best for you, what's pure for you. This is a very deep purification process. But this also is in conflict with all this South Node and Mars energy, which, let's just go to the eclipse now, and then we'll kind of talk about Mercury retrograde while we talk about this eclipse. Is this past life stuff. So we've got the North Node and the Sun almost in conjunction, right? It's literally there. It's within a degree. With an exact opposition, okay, look at that one, to the Moon, Mars, and the South Node. Look at that, 3, 4, 5. It's basically 4, 5, right? Okay. This is huge old past life stuff where you had problems, because what is the South Node in Aquarius, okay? The South Node in Aquarius is where you have failed ascending. What is ascending? Moving to a higher level, okay? This is where we are stuck. We are stuck in failed past life emotional and identity and strength and karmic aspect in conflict with what's up here in the north, living a life of happiness, boldness, and reliance on self. Because people come and go, okay? Like, sorry to say, it's like the realization that through your whole life, from the moment you're born to the moment you die, sure, I have lots of family right now, but are they in this room right now with me? I mean, it's easier today with technology to call my grandmother or to call my mom or to call people to be there for me. But at the end of the day, like, friends come and go, family members come and go, whether that's through death or maybe disagreements or groups that were one time supporting you are gone. All the people that supported me when I started to be a DJ, like only like 2 or 3 of them are still there. Like the other 60 to 70 to 80 that were on my guest list at the time, I don't even talk to anymore. You know what I mean? So like there's this aspect of learning like and remembering that at the end of the day, it's always you that has to deal with life and find happiness, that other people cannot do it for you. Sure, having an audience is a wonderful thing in life, and it's a beautiful thing in life, but this is the teachings of where you had really difficult past life situations where you couldn't get higher, okay? So this is bringing up this fear or this conflict that you have with rising your vibration higher into a place of a happier state anyways that you want to be. And because Mars is retrograding, starting to square Uranus during this eclipse, and this eclipse is squaring Uranus, in Taurus, really it's all about raising to just a better place, a place that offers you more abundance. Taurus rules like the forest, the earth, the trees, you know, it's like it's also money, right? Like, you know, money is such a taboo place right now in the spiritual community, it blows my mind. But it's like, you know, like if you're not in a happy place and you're in a weird place and you're afraid to ascend to a higher place and afraid of the conflict of that, how do you expect to have more money? Your money is the indication of where you are at in your life. And people don't like to hear that one. Because Uranus is showing you where you're at on the elevator scale, and Uranus rules society. So when Uranus comes into Taurus, where you're at with your abundance and your money is the exact position of where you're at in the world, and it's the exact position of where you're at with your self-worth. So unfortunately, Taurus deals with what you have, what you own, what property you have. And this eclipse is bringing up like, are you happy because you really don't have shit? Because maybe you're not willing to let go of, because especially Aquarius is the sign where we let things go that are not making us happy anymore, that we feel that we need to bug out, because without Aquarius we'd be stuck in certain kingdoms, or we'd be stuck in love with certain relationships, or we'd be stuck in certain places where we just, you know, continue to be there forever. Aquarius is when we finally go, maybe there's another world out there, or maybe there's a new exciting situation and stimulation. And this is really about, can you manifest? And where do you manifest from? And are you ready to go to a higher level of manifesting? Or do you want to stay here at this shitty spot that isn't as good as there are higher places? And unfortunately, and I'm just going to like be blunt as fuck. Like, Uranus and Taurus, the scariest part about it to me when I look at history is whether you like it or not, hierarchies in life based off what you make become everything. From factory worker to the owner to the highest in government to, you know, Uranus and Taurus is a, you know, kind of caste system in our society. And it all depends on your manifesting skills and your knowing of your talents and your knowing of your abilities. And when you combine that with Saturn in Capricorn and Pluto in Capricorn, which definitely deal with Do you have integrity? Do you show up to do the work? Do you have a plan? Do you know it? If you're at a place where you're afraid of how you look, because unfortunately Taurus rules beauty and vanity. A lot of people think it's Libra, but second house comes right after the first house. So you identify with what you want, and then you think, is it good or not, right? And then if it's good or not, you go to Gemini where you communicate it, right? So Taurus is where if you look in the mirror and you think you're fat, you think you're too skinny, you think your hair's the wrong color, you don't look right, guess what? Automatically, you've already triggered an abundance issue. But with Uranus, it'll take you to those really low levels, but it will also jump you up to the highest levels where it starts to go like, I've already done this, I've already built that, I've already done this, okay, now, oh my gosh, can I make it to this next round after I already did this? Like, can I really purchase that now? It's like kind of like first time home buying, but like imagine it on a grander scale of like, okay, can I really buy like this hotel, and can I also, you know, buy this company and pay for the rent of those two, you know, studios, and can I do that? You know, like Uranus and Taurus is monopoly. And what you buy and what you have, and if you have a hotel on it or a house or you don't have anything, you're just going to be paying the Pied Piper all the time, right? And how funny, the Pied Piper is, there's a whole other story on that, you know, and how when Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter were all in Capricorn, that story came out in 1284. But, you know, there's a lot here. And with Mercury retrograding, the real task is to understand, as Mercury is going to retrograde over the node, and well, not actually, it won't make it there, but it's near that space, and it's coming towards where the sun is moving in Leo. I mean, this is a definite time to look at your true happiness in your life. Like, what makes you happy, and to live that place, and to love yourself. But if you have Taurus issues, man, how are you going to be happy if you don't know how to manifest happiness, right? Or you feel like, I don't have something, so I can't be happy. That's why Taurus comes before Leo. That's why money comes before Leo. Unfortunately, because money is the understanding of abundance and self. And it goes deeper consciously with your look, how you feel. Whenever there's a second house issue with an 11th house issue in a chart, which is what we're dealing with in this lunar eclipse, with a 5th house issue, okay, if you look at a T-square between 5th, 11th, or just 11th and 2nd, that is, I don't feel like I'm good enough for society. I think society will judge me. I think I'm too ugly for society. I don't think I fit in society at all. I don't think people will understand me. I don't think that the universe or the world has a place for me. That's what a lot of people are going to be going through during this eclipse. Like, you know, triggers. Oh, I'm triggered. I'm not good enough. And this is where you get revolts, which, by the way, again, based off this astrology, with the South Node, Mars retrograde, and all of this lunar eclipse action in Aquarius, this is where people are revolting off their own subconscious, spiritual triggers of what they don't feel they're good enough about. So they attack Mars retrograde, that's a failure attack, off what they feel is right for the world, but yet maybe it's not your job to say what's right for the world, since you don't have it, because you don't know how to do it because of your own issues in yourself of manifesting, of knowing your value. Like, any revolts you see during these next couple weeks, I guarantee you will be about what I don't have and what everybody else should feel that we don't have either. And it's all going to come against Leo, right? The North Node in Leo, which is, you know, like it's that person's fault. Not me. It's their fault. That's also Mars retrograde in Aquarius. It's their fault, not mine, not my problem. I showed up to the war and they didn't do what they were going to do. This is where we have to find that we're dealing with all of our own past life emotional abundance issues. We all have an abundance material issue with some sort of self-worth somewhere. For some people, it's looks. For some people, it's, I don't know if I can make it to the next level and actually take something. For others, it's, oh, I don't feel like I can even get something started. There's a lot of different crazy ways we can look at it. We can do a whole workshop on this. But don't get triggered by this stuff, you know? You're going to have to kind of learn to have fun through this. I know that sounds crazy, but like Leo is like fun, expressing yourself, laughing through it all, even when it seems chaotic and against you and so crazy. But the Sun opposed Mars in any aspect is always the confrontation with your ego. And because the ego is retrograde, this is your own ego shit. This is like learning to go, you know what? In order for me to be happy, let me accept what's going on. Let me not try to go through some crazy stuff. Let me not try to revolt by revolting, but let me try and fix the situation by getting what I need in my life to be happy, by using my self-worth and using Neptune in a way where it's like, let me just drop you where I'm at spiritually, and this is what I feel I deserve. I'm not getting that. Jupiter in Scorpio, right? Where are you receiving? And you know what? I'm going to go seek where I can receive what I deserve and call it a day. It can be that simple. The whole funniest thing to me is when you see the craziest astrology, the answer is always the simplest. Every time. And when you're dealing with fixed energy, it's about you. It's not about them. It's not about what you've started. It's not about what to end. It's all about like aligning you with you and not being afraid of that. And telling people and telling situations like, this is what I need. This is what's going to make me happy. And if that's not possible through a negotiation or through some sort of thing, then okay. I will go find it where I need to go. And, you know, working things out is one thing, but, you know, creating chaos over some ego issue you have in your life right now, or some trigger, Mars squaring Uranus is triggering fast reactions, and especially in Taurus, it's, they have that, I don't. I'm triggered. Right? Like, oh my God, they look really good. Let me, you know, it's a little bit different. I don't know. So because Mars is masculine, right? So it's like, you know, I want to take action. I want to say what I want to say. That's kind of the energy, right? And especially with Mercury retrograde, it's like, we should probably watch how we say what we want, but that's probably not going to stop us with this Mars retrograde and stuff. And it's like, you know, you will get triggered by what you feel like you don't have. And then you'll say, fuck that person, or fuck that situation, or whatever. It's like, you need to realize, like, this is like you allowing an outside circumstance, which is basically just revealing to you your lack of raising to a higher vibration to get there, and taking that into stock and going, oh, that's the trigger for me to realize that I need to do the work so I can get there, because maybe that's a place where I want. I'm inspired by that. Instead of, I don't have it, I'll never be able to get it, it's unfair, and fuck you, and you know what, let's say fuck you, let's write a bunch of crazy comments, let's start a revolt, let's go against them, and really it's some deep self-worth conscious or subconscious, unconscious trigger. Because this is going to bring up lots of triggers. And whenever you have Uranus in a big square and a lunar eclipse, and you know there's a lunar eclipse in Aquarius, the nervous system is on fire. Right? Like, so, you know, the nervous system is there, and, you know, the only thing that we can really pay attention to is Neptune and its home sign, Saturn and its home sign, and the Sun, which is be happy. This is the number one, you know, strongest position of home is the Sun when it's at home, and find internal happiness on your own, not from other people. 2, the second most powerful position is Saturn, which is integrity, right? And making sure that you're following your plans towards a life where you know you want to. Like, why even invest, Jupiter and Scorpio, into a life you don't want? That's not going to get you the end goal of what you want anyway. Why even sit around and waste your time and hopefully it'll, you think somehow it'll just kind of get there eventually? No, Capricorn is like, you want to get to the top of the hill, this is the trail. If the trail has a little tree with a dead end, we cut the tree off. If we run out of food, we kill the animal here or we eat the plant roots that are right here. Like, and we fucking get our knees dirty and we keep going. Like, where's this whole like, oh, I want to get there, but you know what, I'll just sit here and maybe somebody will build a gondola up there one day. Yeah, right. Go to Mount Everest. Nobody's done shit like that. Sure, there's tour guides now that'll help you up there, but there's no difference from the beginning of people going to Mount Everest to now. It is just as hard, and you got to get up there. There is no easier way. Sure, there's better gear now. There's better tents, but at the end of the day, it's not going to change the whole hike up there and the gear that you still have to hold, and you got to go and you got to do with it. So, you know, part of this is the second most powerful position of this eclipse to pay attention to keep you straight is only investing in a life that is on the path in which you want fully. Like, if you want to build a business, right, Saturn and Capricorn, and you want to sell astrology videos, why divert and deal with situations with people and situations that get off that track, and now you're not even selling, but maybe you're talking about, I don't know, you got to think of something so off the market, but like, you know, like, I don't know, selling chairs, right? Like, okay, like, I thought we were doing a business about astrology. Why am I in a situation right now where we're talking about selling chairs and we haven't even sold any fucking astrology yet? Saturn and Capricorn is like, why do your life on a trail and the hard part about Saturn and Capricorn, it is rough, right? It is not a very forgiving sign. Like, it's tough decisions. It's hard line decisions. It's like, sorry, we're in love, but we're not doing this in our life together, right? And we're not on the same trail, so we're never going to end up in the same place. So it's about putting that hard line. It's a hard line in all decisions in our life. If it's not in line with where we want to go in our life, we have to start to make some tough calls. And with all this South Node and all this Aquarian stuff, I'm sorry to say the Aquarius energy is broken at the moment. Even look at the internet right now and look at everybody's like just kind of all over the place with where it's going next. And technology is kind of at a stump. You know, like, are we going to do cars that self-drive or not? Or, sure, it's all coming towards the end and everybody's putting everything into this space, but really, this has been about finding inner happiness. Every time you go to technology to find it, you're like unhappy at the moment. You'll realize when you're out there in the world, or, you know, the thing that Leo represents is child's play, like playing sports, fucking around, you know, pushing someone and laughing, you know. Out there in the world doing fun things and laughing and being in the moment and being a kid. Gives you way more than technology at this moment. That's why the the World Health Organization just put out a huge warning that they're going to start looking at video games as the #1 cause of mental health in millennials. The #1 cause of mental health, even more than pornography. Video games, technology, phones, all that stuff. This stuff is all coming up now to the surface. At the end of the day, I mean, I'll be honest with you, that's the biggest stuff. I mean, when we kind of move into Saturday, which will finish up this whole deep astrology here, is the sun then comes in conjunction with the node, as the moon is still, of course, in Aquarius. Mars is heading towards more of a square to Uranus. But with the sun on the node, I mean, this is a destined point in your life of like, do you know how to be happy? Do you know how to focus on this child play and this childlike energy and being out there? Or are you just going to stay trapped in other people's situations, other people making you happy, other people that are holding you back, you not raising your own vibration, you not moving to a higher level? You trying to fix situations that are unfixable, right? I have a hard drive that I've had for, I don't know, since 2006. It was the first external. Every time I plug it into a computer, it doesn't work. And there I am, every time I see that thing, and every new computer I've bought over the years, there I am spending 8 hours trying to get the information off and it won't get off. It's like there's just some things like it's not going to come off. You know, no matter how bad I want those videos of me at raves, you know, and those old pictures from MySpace, it's like, man, like, so the Venus trine to Pluto had happened, right? Which is not being afraid to choose a reality that's going to make you feel better by staying on a path in which you know long term is exactly what you want in your life. And if that's what it is, and nobody can judge that but you and your own self and your own wants. The thing about Leo, and the beautiful thing about Leo, is God does not judge off the life that makes you happy. Like if you want to be a goth and wear fucking black makeup and black lipstick and God's not judging you for that. That makes you happy. I know a lot of Leo goths that are pretty fucking badass. This is where we start letting the world, and especially with Neptune in Pisces, this deceiving and the media, and with all this Aquarius, I guarantee you this weekend, so from like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and maybe even into Sunday, is going to be how the world and the media wants your life to be, and how it should be, and how it should look. And it will be a big wake-up call for you to realize that you are in command of your heart, how you want to express that heart, and how it's going to be. But it's going to be a little bit of a search. And so that's why I'm going to be doing my webinar on August 1st, and we're doing the early bird sale right now. Check it out. It's going to be about exploring basically your heart. You know, there's a lot of things that we have. We have needs and wants and all these things, and they all kind of are in clash together. But really, because August has the big solar eclipse in Leo, Mercury finishing its retrograde and coming direct, and then of course we've got Uranus going retrograde in Taurus. There's a lot happening in August, and it's the finishing of these eclipses. So, and this is a big deal about our heart. And Mars is going to retrograde back into Capricorn. So, you know, get out of this back Aquarius and come into the Capricornian energy again, and Mars is going to square Uranus, and there's a lot. So, to find this heart at the moment and during these eclipses is bringing you to a place to find it, and that's really what, you know, August is going to be about, and understanding that you're trying to raise your life in a big vibration. The universe isn't going to just fuck you over and shock you so bad on this eclipse that you're fucked. Not going to happen. The universe is going to adjust things and make you look at, let me get a better life. Let me search deeper. And this weekend on Saturday, I'm at the OC Yoga Festival. I'll be speaking for 4 hours there. You can get tickets at ocyogafest.com. Type in Leo King for it's $5 off. It's going to be awesome. I've been doing a 4-hour talk about the eclipses, talk about astrology, all that stuff. It's in Huntington Beach. There's going to be yogis everywhere. They're shutting down Huntington Beach on the pier, on the beach, 5th and 6th Street. There's going to be like 80 vendors. There's going to be so many awesome spiritual people. If you're in the LA Orange County area and you want to be on the beach with all the coolest people that are into spirituality, this is the spot. It's going to be super awesome. It's like nothing's been done like this before, so check it out, ocyogafest.com. I'll be there this weekend if you want to meet me. I'm doing meet and greets as well. So at the end of the day, don't be scared. You know, at first I was scared, and then I went through my realization, like, I'm going to accept what the universe has dropped on me and realize that the universe is dropping beautiful nuggets that are going to take me exactly where the universe knows that I don't know, because God knows more than we do. And God knows a better path for us. And for me, I'm not scared, because when it comes to manifesting or self-worth, I do have a moon in Taurus. Taurus is like my comfort zone, right? So manifesting doesn't scare me. So maybe I'm not scared because of that. But if you're scared about manifesting or those kind of things, that's going to be an area to work on. Now, Aquarius kind of scares the shit out of me because I got nothing in Aquarius, which, you know, is to me kind of this, you know, venturing off into different worlds, kind of disconnecting from your heart, moving on to different spaces, and, you know, but this isn't the time for that kind of stuff. It's only about disconnecting from things that are no longer part of your higher resolution and your long-term goals and where you got to go. And so I'm not afraid about that. At the end of the day, this could rocket ship you into a whole nother amazing higher dimension, or just show you that, I don't want to say drop you, or I don't want to say, you know, put you in a bad space, but I think the bad space is watching everybody else's rockets go and yours doesn't go. Because you're still stuck in situations that you're not choosing to face, to confront, to revolutionize to a better part in your life. And this has been building up for weeks since the last eclipse, and it's been building up for the last year, since the last big total lunar or solar eclipse in Leo, and actually even the last 6 months. So, you know, a lot of this stuff is going to be stuff that you've been just dealing with for a long time. It's not going to be like random new event stuff. There will be some of that, but you'll realize that on top of the random new stuff is way more you dealing with a lot of past patterns where you've already dealt with the experience a million times, and it's time to just put that to a close or change that. So thank you for all your support. I truly appreciate it. If you want to watch me every day, I'm on futurelife.tv. We just launched High Vibe TV. We're going to be putting content in the next week. But all my old episodes are on there, and now that's on Apple TV. Go check out Apple TV, High Vibe TV. It's on iOS, High Vibe TV. We're on Roku. Are we on Roku yet? Yeah, we're on Roku, High Vibe TV, and we're on Amazon Fire. That's what it is. Yep, Amazon Fire, High Vibe TV. So there's a lot of awesome episodes if you want to get through anything going on right now. But this is my new positive spiritual network. It's going to be not horoscope based, all based on inspirational speakers. We are going to have like yoga people. We're going to have people that really want to bring you to a higher vibration. And all this stuff has been launching for a long time, but the apps took a lot of time to develop, and they're finally out. So check that out, High Vibe TV, which is on all those. Apple TV, iOS, Amazon Fire, Roku. You can start watching stuff now. We're going to be loading awesome new content. And of course, we're looking for people for that network. Not horoscope based, not tarot readers, not, you know, but inspirational speakers, TED Talk style people. People that really have, you know, video content that they want to put out there. Weekly, we prefer daily, but if you got weekly video that you can, or you're in the LA and Orange County areas and you want to either do a deal with me here in my studios where you can use my stages, the cameras and the stuff, and we do a split on the revenue. Lots of options there. But if you want to do that, email production@highvibe.tv. Thanks so much for all your support. Truly appreciate it. Spread this message as much as you can. And I will see you guys high up in our rockets to the highest place of our happiness. And for those that are not on the rockets, I'll be yelling down saying, come on, you got this, and watching your rocket meet up with us. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next report.